We begin with the heartbreaking story that is top of mind in our city and across the country. 9 people are dead after Edmonton's worst mass murder. The police chief confirming it is a case of domestic violence. We will have live coverage, but first, a recap. It started just before 7 on Monday evening. Police were called to this home in South Edmonton for a weapons complaint. We have now learned that's where 37-year-old Cindy Duong was found dead. Officers then responded to a call from a family in North Edmonton concerned about a man who was thought to be suicidal. They got to that house at about 8:30, but there was no answer at the door and nothing suspicious. Around midnight, they received more information that prompted them to return to that house. They forced their way inside, finding 7 people dead. Finally, police went to a Fort Saskatchewan restaurant where they found the suspect dead, believed to be by suicide. Police Chief Rod Connect spoke to the media last night, updating the case. Our Veronica Jubenville was there, and she has been at the North Edmonton home all morning. She joins us now live. Veronica.
Well, Marnie, the forensic unit is back here on scene at the North Edmonton home this morning, and the growing memorial behind me at this home, you can see actually Mayor John Iveson was just here moments ago. He told me he came here to pay his respects. He laid a bouquet of flowers here, and he actually stopped right at the home and just took a moment of silence to remember the victims here. I also saw a tear run down his cheek. So obviously this tragedy just hitting all of us here in Edmonton, not only in our city, but across the province. Another recap for you here. Police Chief Rod Connect calling this mass murder a horrible tragedy. 9 people dead in total, 7 people murdered inside this North End home. 3 women, 2 men, all between the ages of 25 and 50, along with 2 children under the age of 10. The bodies found just hours after 37-year-old Cindy Duong was shot inside a Southside home. The lone suspect himself found dead inside a Vietnamese restaurant in Fort Saskatchewan by apparent suicide. Neighbors of the North End home say a couple that lived here were often heard arguing. Police Chief Rod Connect calling this a tragic chain of events linked to domestic violence. Police had been to this home in the past.
The first in November of 2012, where a male subject was arrested and charged for offenses relating to domestic violence, sexual assault, and uttering threats. The second occurrence was in 2013 and related to a check on welfare.
I know the family have a trouble problem with a couple of years ago.
I know the husband didn't live there anymore, but his car's been there for the last week.
Now, police say the suspect believed to be at the center of this tragedy had a lengthy criminal history. It dated back nearly 27 years. Rod Connect said the suspect used a 9mm handgun. It was legally registered in BC back in 1997. It was then reported stolen in that province in 2006.
So, Veronica, we are learning more about the victims today. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we have learned that 37-year-old Cindy Duong was an employee at Enbridge. The company says she was a team lead in the Regional Pipeline Project Supply Chain Group. Also, several neighbors in this area have confirmed to me that the boy was named Elvis. They describe him as social and happy. He was often seen playing with other kids in this neighborhood that is full of young families. Now, in terms of what happens next, the autopsies on the 7 people found dead here and the lone suspect are scheduled